Calling all researchers and investigators, get your pens and paper out and get your computers out because you're in for something very, very special and very prominente for the main systems. You're in for something that could change your life for the better. And this is a great opportunity to really, really dig deep below the surface of things because Mercury is entering Scorpio. And just before Mercury enters Scorpio, it will square the power planet Pluto at 29 degrees, both Libra and Capricorn. This represents a time where our thinking becomes more possessive and intense and our desires become more prominente and poignant. This is a special time. It is a special couple of days, and I'm going to walk you through what is going on during these couple of days. And then after I do that, I pulled cards from the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell, and I'm going to reveal to you what cards that I pulled when we get there. The next oracle that I'm going to be getting for these videos is an oracle that is called the Mystical Healing Oracle. And it is a very sort of, it's a Renaissance oracle deck, which I'll be using. I'm very, very excited about it. It is not from Hay House, it's from Rockpool. It's a publishing company. And I'm very excited to use it for these videos that will be coming very, very soon. Let's talk about this day's astrology first of all. Let's talk about October 11th because we need to talk about Pluto going direct. That's the very, very first thing going on. So Pluto will be direct by October 12th. So when Pluto goes direct, when Pluto stations direct, it stands still in the sky, therefore its energy is magnified. This goes all the way back to March of 2023 because what happened on March 23rd is that Pluto entered Aquarius for the very, very first time, and then on June 11th, it moved back into Capricorn. And then Pluto on October 10th stationed direct in Capricorn. It then moved forward on January 19th, it entered Aquarius again. On May 2nd, it went retrograde in Aquarius. And then today, October 11th, it stations direct in Capricorn after re-entering the sign on September 1st this year. And Pluto will fully leave Capricorn in November this year. So we have a lot of things going on when it comes to Plutonian energies at play here, because Pluto is making all sorts of dances and moves in the sky, and a lot is going on with Pluto around this time. Pluto will not return to Capricorn again for our entire lifetimes, once it enters Aquarius fully in November. So, this is about when Pluto is retrograde, we're slowing down the processes of Phoenix risings. We're slowing down the processes of book reading, bookkeeping, accounting. We're slowing down these processes of deep, profound rebirth and death that can happen when it comes to the various arenas of life. We're slowing down this need for to take power, to be empowered, to be strong-willed, to be stupefied and zingified. We're really taking this and we're slowing it down. We're going into our wounds and reflection. We are going deep into the shadows when Pluto goes retrograde. Now Pluto is direct. So Pluto now is going to kick up the transformations that are happening. It's going to kick up all the wild things in life that require stage and page to require us to get back into the state of the desire to change and impact our lives in significant ways. Pluto is stationing direct at the aneretic degree of Capricorn. So when Pluto is the energetic degree of Capricorn, this becomes intensified, this becomes magnified, this becomes much more hot and culminating because it's like the pressure point degree where all of the energy is coming to its head just before it moves on to the next sign, sort of a wrapping up energy of all the lessons that we have learned over the past 15 to 16 years when Pluto has been in Capricorn. All of this is coming to a culmination now for us to face what is going on and for us to finally come to a consensus point of wrapping up all the lessons that we learned and putting on our what is called our sort of tie-upping loose ends sort of thing. So, Pluto is more intense when it's direct rather than retrograde. Retrograde planets, a lot of the energies of retrograde planets slow down and become as ineffective as they possibly can be when they are retrograde because they're sort of going into hibernation for a little bit and they're coming out of hibernation. So Pluto is the first of these planets to the first of these outer planets to come out of hibernation, and its energies are getting regenerated and reawakened again. So that's really, really possible for us to evaluate and see as a potential point in our lifetimes. So this is unrelenting energy. Our pasts and structures go through massive transformations. What are our structures for our lives? What is our goals, our net pines, our visions, our commitments? These are going through really, really powerful transformations. Not only that, but structures in the media, structures in the collective mundane world of levels. These structures and people in power are going through a massive transformation and put down because Pluto destroys whatever it touches over time. A very, very slow burn process that Pluto sort of takes on with its mast and its kites and its immutable things. So, there's transformations to these mundane arenas of life. And so you may become more focused on your goals at this time. So, what are the goals that you need to change or shift? What are the goals that need reevaluating and rearranging in your life? Now is the time to make any kind of change to your goals that you can. Now is your final opportunity to end what you need to end the old world before we move into the new world in November. So this is the last of the old world. Capricorn, any planet in Capricorn is representative of we are living in the old world. We are living in a mundane, top-down, bike rack Avalon, um, very Chronos time way of living. And then Aquarius represents the new world. Any planet in Aquarius is sort of a harbinger of the new world. And we're gonna move into the new world very, very soon, as I said before. And so Aquarius represents the youth, the young, the innovations, the future pacing of life, shifts and changes to society at large. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. It looks at the past and see how it can revolutionize what happens. Because its sort of heartbringer is Saturn, but its main body is Uranus. Um, and so are you on the right path? Are you on your true path and calling right now? This is the time to focus and culminate any of your long-term goals. This is the time to release whatever you need to release from your life. Release whatever baggage or stuff or whatever is taking up space and is taking up luggage room in your life. And so outdated traditions couple. This becomes very, very important. What are the outdated traditions right now that are crumbling in your life? The outdated customs, the outdated rules, the outdated laws, the outdated rigorings. What is falling to pieces? What is dying away? What is moving away? What is just not working that you have to release? Moving on to the astrology of October 12th. So we have several events going on, the first of which is that the moon in Aquarius is sextiling the North Node in Aries. This heightens imagination. Maybe we're more tender, we're more sensitive, but we're also more creative at this time as well. Also wanting to put our creative right brain to work, creating pictures, diagrams, diagrams, paintings, grass screeners, car cleaners, mosaics in a mosaic hospital. What is the creative thing that needs to be sort of put into action that can be both profound and um, stupid in positive ways, let's just say, where we're really, really thinking about how we can add to the collective creations, how we can contribute to the creative surge of energies going on right now. Is it writing a book? Is it painting a painting? Is it creating an oracle deck? Whatever is the thing that you define as your creative outlet. Now's the time to go towards it. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as you believe that this is how I can creatively express myself. It's time to find a creative outlet if you don't have one yet. So, this is about feeling at ease when putting yourself out there in the crowd. Um, really finding that center stage and page and sort of realm of life when you're putting yourself out there into the crowd, into the group, into the collective. And so it's a good time to align your emotions with your subconscious. So, are your emotions and more subjective thinking clouding your rational thinking and judgment skills? It's a good time to evaluate that and balance out whatever you need to balance in regards to that at this time. It's good to understand yourself deeply and your purpose for why you incarnated on this planet, what you're meant to do. This is good for emotional growth and fulfillment as well. This is good for self-discovery and emotional development. This is good for having deep emotional connections with other people. Very profound, meaningful, nurturing connections that you can find. And so this is good for emotional intelligence and empathy. So it's a greater sense of empathy, of understanding what the person's going through, etc. And so there is the spiritual development that's coming to the foreplay at this time. So it's good to develop yourself in spiritual ways on a spiritual level. And to do whatever you can that makes you grounded, that brings you your sense of spiritual enlightenment. This is good for emotional healing. We need to have inner balance at this time. We need to find whatever makes us feel peaceful. And we also need to grow our personal growth status. We need to use our awareness to foster our personal growth. That becomes huge. We need to tune our emotions with our inner needs as well. And so, introspection, this is good for any kind of introspection. Meditation or journaling. This is good for all of these three things. These three practices, introspection, meditation, and journaling, can be very successful avenues right now. We also need to focus on our emotional needs, so that we can put more of our alignment with regards to that. We can align ourselves closer to our purpose, closer to our destiny in life, closer to what we're meant to do in our own individual experiences. The moon is also going to trine Lilith. So what is Lilith? Well, Lilith is our represents our dark, primal, untamed nature of who we are. It represents the darker sides of who we are, our sort of unruly feminine side of who we are. These aspects of us we may push down, deny, reject, or disown, or we might feel ashamed that we have these parts of ourselves. So this is the time to take emotional leaps. This is the time to confront your deeper and darker emotions and come back face to face with these emotions. It's about having a passion and zest for life as well, going after our passions. This is good for impacing our surroundings in a positive way, transforming our environment into something positive, into something soul nourishing. This represents a revitalization of our creativity, a revitalization. That's what this is, a revitalizing of our sepulchres in creative self. This represents reawakening our creativity, whatever we do that we define as creative. This is good for dating deeper insights into the motivations of those around you. So when we date into these things, we find greater value, we find greater meaning. So looking at the deeper insights into the people around you, into what their intentions are, what their motives are, what their omniscience are, what their boxes are, looking at these following things and reevaluating, is this person motives going to result in a good outcome? Is it going to bring me fruit? Is it going to lend me the blanket? Is it going to pull up the blind of the window? We really, really need to think about others' values and are they in alignment? Are our values and other people's values connected, aligned, attached? Are they going to serve us or hinder us? We need to also, there's a card in this Oracle deck, the Oracle Light Oracle deck called um, Trust the Niggle. Let me just find it here, if I can find it. So we really, really need to look at, are we doing what we need to do for ourselves? Are we too focused on the others' sort of needs and wants and what we desire? So this is about gaining deeper insights into the motivations of those around you. This is also about emotional resilience, really, really being emotionally strong to handle whatever challenges come at you in your own life. So that is what this is about. You may also feel more protective of your loved ones, more motivated to care for them and protect them from danger and anything, caring for them, helping them out. That can be a very, very positive aspect of this particular thing. And here's the card, Trust the Niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? This is what the card looks like. Isn't that gorgeous? But I think that this has to be my favorite card in the deck right here. Isn't that stunning? Isn't that pretty? Unbound. Isn't that pretty? This reminds me of the scene from Mary Poppins when all the nannies were flying away and Mary Poppins first appeared. I wonder if this deck was actually based on Mary Poppins to some extent. I argue that it is, with some aspects of it. And I really hope that maybe there's a chance that it was taken into account when the people who created this deck made this deck. So now we're talking about being understanding and compassionate towards other people. We need to have these two qualities indente to us. This is good for profound emotional healing and empowerment. So healing ourselves and empowering ourselves in this way. This is good for blending our emotions, our inner emotional needs with our primal instincts, with our own individual deep dark parts of ourselves. This is good for needing to have self-awareness. This is good for connecting to our intuition. This is important that we navigate emotions with ease and understanding. This is also good for deep healing and transformation. We also need to take charge of our emotions, take command of our emotions, and not let them dominate or control us, but rather putting them in their states of honor and having them be at the back seat instead of the front seat of our car. We need to express our emotions freely, not being afraid to express our emotions, to express what's on our minds and our hearts, what we deeply believe, what we deeply feel. And if you're listening to this thinking, well, I can't do that in my own life, you need to get past those limitations that you put on yourself. You need to get past the limitations that other people put on yourself. Stand up, roll up your sleeves, plug up the courage, and speak your truth. That is what you need to do if you're listening to this video and that resonates with you, is being your authentic self, even if all the circumstances in your life prevent that from happening. So you also need to trust your gut at this time. Trusting your gut, trusting your innermost primal urge and gut feelings. Things are going to have to work out a certain way. The things are going to Spencer work out a certain way. So, it becomes very, very important that we trust our intuition, that we trust the niggle, as I showed you before. And another aspect going on this particular day is the sun is going to form a trine with the moon. So the sun's in Libra, the moon's in Aquarius. So we're feeling more gratification for a home and family life. These two areas of life are really, really coming together in perfect harmony. Our surroundings can become more harmonious at this time, and most areas of life will be running along smoothly, will be very, very smooth, will be working for the betterment of us in general. There's a greater ease when it comes to these particular areas of life. And so maybe family members can provide you with valuable insights at this time. Maybe that's another um, very special part of this is that family members can bring insights to you. You may have fewer inner conflicts between your emotional reactions and life purpose as well. And so your inner and outer selves own a dance now, and a gentle dance. And so this is about having self-confidence and optimism about reaching your potential, because we are talking about the sun here, which is that masculine force of hectate energy. It's about putting yourself out there and not being afraid to shine, not being afraid to take up as much space as you desire. So this is really about putting forth your confidence and your optimism in play for you to pursue whatever you want to pursue. And so there's opportunities coming at you in the right moment. There's opportunities going to your door, knocking on your door. Are you open to those opportunities? Are you willing to see what those opportunities can lead you to whatever destination that it may lead you to? Or are you closed-minded? So it's important to be receptive to what the universe has to offer you. So this is about being supported to, to really move forward in your life. This is good for having gratitude for things. This is good for encouragement from others in achieving our goals. This is good to stretch and challenge yourself this time, getting out of your comfort zone, doing something that's risk-taking, that's bold, that's brave, that's ahi, that's new, that's special, that's inquisitive, intelligent, whatever you can do to increase your motivation for living your life. This is the time to do that. Now, I pulled a card for this particular day from the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And I asked the question, what does the collective need to know for September, for October 12th of this year? And I got the card Warrior Woman. And the message of this card is, have you answered your deepest calling? So this is what the question is asked. This is what the card is asking you to consider. Have you answered your deepest calling? Have you gone on that path to fulfill what your soul is trying to tell you to, or trying to edge you to being? This is the time to be absolutely true to your calling. Um, be true to the reason why you incarnated on planet Earth. Be true to your purpose. Know what your calling is. Determine what your calling is. Just go in any direction, and maybe your calling will unfold itself for you in right time. Just by reading something, just by writing something on a Google document, just by watching a video, your purpose will just unfold before you, and you can find a sense of purpose and direction. Point it upwards toward the sky. Really shoot for the skies when it comes to your calling. Um, and so if there's any pull down people, now's the time to stand up for the people that are getting pulled down by other dominating people. Standing up for the underdogs is what this is about. Shooting for the stars is what this is about. Bravely paving a path is what this is about. So forming a path and being courageous to go on that path. Um, and so this is about living a life where your heart and soul lead your life. Um, this is what this comes down to. So it becomes very, very important now to lead your life and not let your ego lead and control your life. That becomes very, very important. And that should be in mind, what the heck am I doing here? That's the key thing with this card. We can look at having to face our fears. Are we willing to step into the unknown as well? Are we willing to decide if it's a yes or a no? The answer is it's all a no. And so we really, really need to face our fears and be willing to move into the unknown, to be willing to accept what has happened in the past, and being willing to move into new territory, new serene territory, embark on new adventures. And so the other thing here is that we need to be courageous in leading the life with our heart as the lead of our life. Moving on to October 13th, the very, very first aspect going on is that the moon is going to square Uranus. So when the moon is square Uranus, we have difficulty with conforming to the people that want to put you down or force you to do something. We may feel more rebellious, we may feel more jet skiing, we may feel more freedom loving. We don't want to continue doing same old boring routines and tasks. We may be feeling erratic and impulsive at this time. We need to look at what excites you, what lights you up, what stimulates you, and go in that direction. This is not a good time for making significant changes in any area of your life, so put those aside and save those for a later time. We need to have strong instincts as well. And we don't want to get caught into drama in our relationships. Now, Mercury is going to square Pluto. So when Mercury and Libra square Pluto, both at their erratic degrees, this is about deep thinking, intense interactions with others. This is good for investigating and researching things. This is also good about being extreme about our thoughts. We may feel more extreme about our thoughts. This is good for feeling more defensive about your emotions and thoughts right now. You may feel more defensive about these things. And the advice here is to open up to what other people are telling you and consider their perspectives. This is about uncovering answers that can impact your psychology, going to the deep roots of things. We may feel interested and obsessed with a certain topic matter to be had. Communications may be more intense. That's a possibility. And this is not a good time to force your views onto other people. Now, Mercury is going to enter Scorpio. So when Mercury enters Scorpio, we have an Anexide, Pines, and pine, 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 pine. So our thoughts when Mercury enters Scorpio become much more intense. This is good for uncovering hidden things, finding the truth of things. We want deep conversations. We want to go deep. We want to have deep and meaningful conversations. Anything shallow and superficial is cut from our lives. We want to disengage from that entirely. We want to completely move away from what thoughts and communications and conversations and subjects are superficial. We want to go deep. We want to have a subject that has a lot of dissonance to it, a lot of depth to it. We may become more obsessive in our thinking under this influence if we usually want things very, very badly. Mercury in Scorpio is going to just raise the bar on how badly we want things. And here's what's ironic. You know what I really, really, really want? I have a whole list of oracle cards that I want to get. And it's so funny because oracle cards are for spiritual help, for spiritual support, spiritual development. And that is what I want so badly. So, are oracle cards, are there no exceptions? Are oracle cards an exception? It's just so ironic because oracle cards are what I really, really want, but maybe the oracle cards that I already have may be enough in quite a bit because I have 21 decks of oracle cards. Isn't that a lot? And there's a whole lot more that I want to get. And I have a whole list of cards, 21 cards already, far more than that to come. So let me know. Hopefully, you think that that is a lot of Oracle cards. I really, really hope that you think that 21 Oracle cards is quite a bit because it should be. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. So we become more competitive under this influence. This is about getting to the heart of a matter, getting to the truth of the matter, getting right to the point of something, and cutting right to the truth of something. We're bypassing every ego cutting, every superficial thing, every other piece of information. What matters is what is the truth of what we are investing our time and money and energy in. That's what matters at this time. So we may be intrigued by others' motivations. We may want to investigate others' motivations. We're also feeling highly intuitive at this time. This is good for uncovering hidden truths and shedding light on the taboo areas of life. This is what this comes down to. Is putting light on the more taboo topics of life and things like that, and digging into those types of things. And we may feel passionate, and we feel the need to be intimate with somebody in our lives. Getting to know them at the deepest level is what that means. The sun is also going to trine Jupiter. So when the sun is trine Jupiter, the sun is in Libra, Jupiter is in Gemini. And so growth and good fortune are all areas of success at this time. So we're feeling more enthusiastic and generous. There's a greater sense of happiness here. There's a greater sense of optimism here. This is good for long distance travel and philosophical studies or mystical studies. So learning into astrology, philosophy, religion, um, runic Celtings. All of these types of things are very, very important to dig into at this time. Digging into ancient history, all this kind of things like that. We may want our ideas and company sought out by others at this time. This is a very social time. We may get personally attached to somebody at this time. And so you can find that your visions are clear. Your ideas are like crystal. They're crystal clear. Your what are called a net pines, which is basically your goals, your dreams, your visions for what you want to create in your life. That's my term for it. As in a net pine, your net pines are much clearer and much more easily able to see. So not wanting to be fixed to one particular position or solution might be a cavity, might be something that we feel very strongly about that we don't want to be fixated on one thing. We want to be diverse. We want to expand our horizons. We want to learn new things, travel to new places. Um, and outcomes are likely to surpass expectations. This is about having unlimited enthusiasm for life. The final aspect that I'm going to touch on here is Mercury is going to trine the moon. So the moon is in Aquarius, Mercury is in, or the moon is in Pisces, the moon is in, Mercury is in Scorpio. So this is a water trine now. So it's much more emotional. So when the moon is trine Mercury, we're seeing things with much greater clarity. We're seeing things as they are. We're seeing them fully as their authentic sort of look of what they actually are. And so your right and left brain are in balance. Your creative, intuitive side with your logical, rational side, both of these two things are in balance at this time. And so this is good for having sound judgment and good decision-making skills. Making decisions very, very quickly, having a good sense of solid judgment at this time. And so this is good for sharing your thoughts and feelings with others in profound, powerful ways. And so this is good for personal discussions about personal topics in your life. This is about seeing every experience contributing to your self-development. Um, this is time to work on the channel between your conscious and unconscious self. You may be feeling internal psychological stress at this time, so be mindful of that. Do whatever brings you into a state of calm and relaxation. Um, and so this may be good for sharing your past experiences with other people and sharing your stories and getting those stories out and seeing what the other person's perspective on that story is. This is also good for the blending of logic and emotion and evaluating how has your empathy made an impact on somebody else's life. How is you being empathetic, you putting yourself into their person's shoes, you're understanding what their situation is helpful to that person. How has that made a difference in their life? Now I pulled another card from the same Oracle deck And the card that I got is such a beautiful card. It's the first card in the deck called the Ever Unfolding Rose. Isn't that very feminine and very beautiful? So this is what the card is. And the soul inquiry is cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. The key words at the bottom. It's happening for you and not to you. So this is about opening your heart and keeping it open. No matter what happens, no matter what stuff hits the fan, no matter how painful it is, no matter what has happened in your life, no matter what bad situation has happened in your life, either that you've caused or the other person has caused. Even if you feel so above and over everything else, like you've ruined everything from your life and you've messed your life up, can you return to your breath? Can you remain cracked open? Can you be open-hearted and open-minded towards various aspects of your life? No matter how hard it is, no matter how badly you've messed up your life in the past, can you be open still? Can you have a fresh set of perspective? Can you be willing to be open-hearted? Life is a mixture of positives and negatives. And so if you've had any hardships or difficulties in your life, those difficult emotions, those stressful, sad, challenging emotions, emotional landscapes, are blessings in disguise because it proves that you feel so guilty, you feel so bad, you feel so down in the dumps because you're growing. You can only learn by making mistakes. You can only learn by messing up your life. You can only learn by the things that you do that you come to regret. You learn through experience. You learn the hard way, not the easy way. That's where the lessons can really stick with you, and that's where the real changes can happen in your life. So this is about blessing the things that crack you open and open your heart, and putting your attention and focus on the things that open your heart chakra. And know that even if you're not going to get all the oracle decks that you want, even if things are not going to happen when you want, how you want it, even if things are not going to be better, you're going to be okay. You're going to be just fine. So that is very, very important to um, understand. So I'm very excited that I am using this beautiful oracle deck again. You can get it on Amazon. You can also get it at Hay House. It's Rebecca Campbell's first deck, and the artwork is gorgeous. And it's Danielle Noel's artwork. Danielle Noel, who is a very, very beautiful artist. And she also has another oracle deck, which I happen to have, called the Starseed Oracle. And Starseeds are sort of beings from another planet, or beings who believe that this earthly experience is not enough and that there's more to life than the third dimension. So that's what a starseed is. And that deck is also very beautiful and vivid. The artwork is stunning on that deck as well. So I'm going to put this back, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to link an activation video where if you want this deck that I'm using, this is the Work Your Life deck that I'm using, there is a way to attune to it. Hold it to your heart, hold it above your head, and say certain things, and also breathe and attune to the deck by closing your eyes and getting yourself to a centered place. I will be linking the attunement video for this Oracle deck in the description box below so that you can check that out. Thank you for tuning in. Hope that you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.